Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 5, chapter 26. We are going to read from text 9 today. Does anyone remember what we have been reading?
We were reading about the hellish planets, and we also got to know that Lord Yamraj lives in the Pitar Lok, that is below the Patal, and there are 28 kinds of hells. And Sukhdev Goswami was describing 28, and we read about the very first one. That was the Tamistra, where if you have an illicit relation with someone else's wife, or you kidnap somebody's children, or if you take their wealth away, then you face that. You face the results.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and where were the location of these hellish planets?
Below Patal, in the Pitralok, below Pitralok, just before, above Shir Sagar, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, above Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Yeah, above the Garbhodaka ocean.
Ocean, yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. So
Hare
we are
Krishna.
reading on. Evam datam sire yastu panchayitva purusham daradin.
Evam eva andhatamistreyastu chitva purusham adina
Upayunte yatra shariri nipatiyamano yatanasto vedanaya nashta.
Upayukte yatra shariri patyamano
yatanasto vedanaya nashtamati.
Matir nashta dritishcha bhavati yatha manaspatir vrishchayamana mudas.
Matirnashta drishtischa bhavati yatha vanaspatirishyamana mulas.
Tasmat andhatamishram tam upadashanti.
Tasmat andhatamishram tam upadashanti.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The destination of a person who slyly cheats another man and enjoys his wife and children is the hell known as Andhatamisra. There his condition is exactly like that of a tree being chopped at its roots. Even before reaching Andhatamisra, the sinful living being is subjected to various extreme miseries. These afflictions are so severe that he loses his intelligence and sight. It is for this reason that learned sages call this hell Andhatamisra. There's no purport to this. So we read Tamisra was something similar. Let's see.
Yeah, it was kind of
appropriates another's limited wife, children, or money. And then this is that he's cheating another man and enjoys his wife and children. Okay. And then the person becomes blind, intelligence and sight. So blind not physically only, but also intelligence. That's why it's called Andhatamisra. Okay, moving on. Yasva ihava etad aham iti mamedam iti drohena kevalam.
Yastu
Yastva
iha
ihava
tat
etat
aham
aham
iti
iti
mam idam
mamedam
iti
iti
bhutadrohena
bhutadrohena
kevalam.
kevalam
Swakutumbam evanudinam prapushnati satat iha vihaya swayam.
Swakutumba
Swakutumbam
eva anudinam
evanudyanam
prapushnati
prapushnati
tat
tad iha
vihaya swayam.
vihaya swayana
Eva tad ashubhena raurave nipatati.
Eva tat
tad
shubhena
ashubhena
rorive
raurave
nipatati.
nipattati.
The person who accepts his body as his self works very hard day and night for money to maintain his own body and the bodies of his wife and children. While working to maintain himself and his family, he may commit violence against other living entities. Such a person is forced to give up his body and his family at the time of death, when he suffers the reaction for his envy of other creatures by being thrown into the hell called Raurava. So here's a purport by Srila Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said, Yasyatma buddhi kalpe tridhatuke swadi kalatra dishubhama ijjati yatirtha buddhihi salilena karvichich janeshva abhigeshu sa eva gokhara. One who accepts this bodily bag of three elements, bile, mucus, and air, as his self, who has an affinity for an intimate relationship with his wife and children, who considers his land worshipable, who takes bath in the waters of the holy places of pilgrimage, but never takes advantage of those persons who are in actual knowledge. He is no better than an ass or a cow. This is what Bhagavatam is saying. Canto 10, chapter 84, text 13. So then one may say, oh, that means what? I have to abandon my family, or I have to, what do I do? Don't I take bath in the holy waters? No, we do. What Bhagavatam is trying to say is connect everything to Krishna. We forget that. And we only remember our attachment to our family members. We forget that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. This arrangement is given to us by Krishna. Or we become so nationalistic that we forget that this land is also belongs to Krishna. So going to the holy place for pilgrimage, yes, is good to bathe, but also what we need to do is to hear from the sadhus that are there. So there are two classes of men absorbed in material concept of life. Out of ignorance, a man in the first class thinks his body to be his self, and therefore he's certainly like an animal. Sa eva gokar. The person in the second class, however, not only thinks his material body to be his self, but also commits all kinds of sinful activities to maintain his body. He cheats everyone to acquire money for his family and himself, and he becomes envious of others without reason. Such a person is thrown into the hell known as Aurorava. If one simply considers his body to be his self as do the animals, he's not very sinful. However, if one needlessly commits sins to maintain his body, he is put into the hell known as Aurorava. So, so there's one person, he's thinking I'm the body, and so that is still better than one when I'm thinking I'm the body and then committing all kinds of sinful activities in that kind of consciousness. So this is the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. All the animals are certainly in the bodily concept of life. They do not commit any sins to maintain their bodies, mates, or offspring. Therefore, animals do not go to hell. However, when a human being acts enviously and cheats others to maintain his body, he is put into a hellish condition. So one may say, oh, but I'm just doing my duty. I have to maintain my family. Oh, yeah, but the point that is being made here is to maintain our family, but we should not be envious of another then. We should not harm another person because we are maintaining our family. That is what is being said. Is that okay?
Yes.
ये त्व इहा यथे वामुना विहिंसिता जन्तव परत्र यमयातनाम्
ये
इह
त्व
यथा
इह
एव अमुना
यथैवामुना
विहिंसिता
विहिंसिता
जन्तव
जन्तव
परत्र यं यातना।
परत्रयमयातना
उपगतं त एव रुरवो भूत्वा तथा तम एव विहिंसन्ति तस्मात्
उपगतं
उपगतं
ते
त
एव
एव रुरावो
रुरावो
भूत्वा
तथा तम्
तथा
इति
तम् एव
हिंसन्ति तस्मात्।
तस्मात्
रौरवम् इति आहुरुरुर् इति सर्पा अतिक्रूरा सत्त्वस्यापदेशः
रौरवम्
रौरवम् इति
आहुरुरु इति सर्पात्
सर्पा
सर्पात्
इति सर्पात्
अतिक्रूरसत्त्वस्य अपदेशः।
अतिक्रूरसत्त्वस्यादेशः
In this life, an envious person commits violent acts against many living entities. Therefore, after his death, when he is taken to hell by Yamaraj, those living entities who were hurt by him appear as animals called rurus to inflict very severe pain upon him. Learned scholars call this hell Raurava. Not generally seen in this world, the ruru is more envious than a snake. According to Sridhar Swami, the ruru is also known as the Bahar Shringa, Ati Krurasya Bhara Shringakya Sattvasya Apadesha Samgya. Srila Jiva Goswami confirms this in his Sandarbha. Ruru Shabdasya Swayam Munineva Tika Vidhana Lokesha Aprasiddha Evayam Jantu Vishesha. Thus, although Rurus are not seen in this world, their existence is confirmed in the Shastras. So Rurus are there in this planet called Raurava. It's a hellish planet. And this Ruru is kind of an animal. They appear as animal called Rurus to inflict very severe pain upon the person who was very envious to him, was violent towards one, very envious towards another, or violent to another.
Hare Krishna, Shilpa ji. So,
Yes.
like how everybody always say that the Bhagavad Gita, because in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says this to Arjun, right? That Irsha is the main cause of everything.
Lust.
Lust. And then the lust leads to anger and then envy. So that envy is also one of the,
Yeah. Yeah, that's why Krishna says envy, anger, they are like gates leading to hell, right?
Yeah, 3 gates. Yeah. Lust,
Attachment.
anger, and greed. Yeah.
Attachment. Yeah.
So, but then this seems like, how quite attached कि हमने वहां पे पढ़ा कि ये प्रॉब्लम है, यहाँ पे हम उसका देख रहे कि हमें ये नहीं करें, इसका ये रिजल्ट है. वहां पे हमें कर्म के सिद्धांत से सिखा रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हमें एक्चुअलिटी बता रहे, राइट?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for making that connection. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because Krishna says that anger, greed, attachment. They are the gates leading to hell. So now we are reading which different hells one goes to if one is so attached that one commits sinful activities, or one is so angry that one commits violent activities. So yeah, thank you for making that connection. Yeah. Evam eva maharoravo yatra nipatitam purusham pravayadanama.
Evam
Evam
eva
eva
maharorav yatra
yatra
niptitam purusham
niptitam purusham
pravyadanama.
pravyadanama.
Rauravastam kravyena ghatayanti ya kevalam deham para.
Rauravastam
Rauravastam
pravyena
kravyena
ghatayanti yah
ghatayanti
kevalam
ya
deham
kevalam
paraha.
deham paraha.
Punishment in the hell called Maharora. Maharora is compulsory for a person who maintains his own body by hurting others. In this hell, Ruru, animals known as Kravyada, torment him and eat his flesh. The animalistic person who lives simply in the bodily concept of life is not excused. He is put into the hell known as Maharaura and attacked by Ruru animals known as Kravyadas. So earlier was the hell Raurav, where there were animals, Rurus. Now here is Maharon, and these Ruru animals called Kravyada are there. Maintaining one's body by hurting others. So yasta iha va ugra pashun pakshino va pranata uparandayatitam.
Yatu
Yasva
ihava ugra
iva
pashuna
ugra pashu
pakshina va
pakshino
pranat
va pranat
bandhanyati.
uparandayati tam.
Apakarunam purushader api pikharhitam amutra yamanucharaha.
Upakarunam
Upakarun
purushade
purusadre
api
api
garhitam
vigarhitam
amutrayam
amutra
anucharakum.
yamanucharaha.
Tumbhipake taptataile uparandayanti.
Kumbhipake
Kumbhipake
taptatele
taptataile
uparandayanti.
uparandayanti.
For the maintenance of their bodies and the satisfaction of their tongues, cruel persons cook poor animals and birds alive. Such persons are condemned even by man-eaters. In their next lives, they are carried by the Yamadutas to the hell known as Kumbhipaka, where they are cooked in boiling oil. So we can see that the more cruelty, the more violent we are, the more suffering we get. Here in Kumbhipaka, then the living entity is cooked in the boiling oil. It's because of cooking live animals, like they're not yet dead, so the suffering to the animal is even more. Yasta iha brahma druksa kala sutra samyake narake ayutam.
Yamtu iha brahmadruksasa
Brahmadruksakala
kala
sutra
sutre
samyaki naraki
samyake
ayutam.
ayuta.
Yojana parimandale tamramaye taptakale upari adhastadagni.
Yojana parimandale
Parimandale
tamare
tamramaye
taptakhale
taptakhale
upari
upari adhastad
adastagni.
agni.
Arkavyam ati tapyamane Viniveshita Shudpipa Sabhyam Cha
अर्काभ्याम्
Arthavyam
अतितप्यमाने
atitapyamane
निवेशितः श्रुतपिपासा
abhishitapshutapipasavyam
च
Dayamanantar Bahisharira Aste Shete Cheshtate Vatishtati
देयम् अन्ति
Dayamanante
बहिर्शरीरम्
sharira
आसते
asti
शेषते
shishtate
तिष्ठते
shishtate
अवतिष्ठति
avashtatishtati
Paridhavati Cha Yavanti Pashuromani Tavad Varsha Sahasrani
परिधावति च
Paridhavati cha
यावन्ति
yavanti
पशुरोमानि
pashuromani
तावद्
tavad varsha
वर्षाणि
sahasrani.
The killer of a Brahmana is put into the hell known as Kala Sutra, which has a circumference of 80,000 miles and which is made entirely of copper. Heated from below by fire and from above by the scorching sun, the copper surface of this planet is extremely hot. Thus, the murderer of a Brahmana suffers from being burned both internally and externally. Internally, he is burning with hunger and thirst, and externally, he is burning from the scorching heat of the sun and the fire beneath the copper surface. Therefore, he sometimes lies down, sometimes sits, sometimes stands up, and sometimes runs here and there. He must suffer in this way for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of an animal. So, this is if one kills a Brahmana, then one goes to the hell. Which hell?
Kala Sutra.
And what is the speciality of this hell?
It's very hot, right?
Yeah, very hot.
Yeah, extremely hot.
Extremely hot. Yeah. It's made of copper, and there is heat, fire under, and the sun above. So it's like as good as walking on fire itself because metal becomes so hot, no?
In thousands of years, huh?
Yeah, thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of an animal. I mean, the body of an animal would be so many hairs. Yastva iha vaya nija veda patha anapadi apagata pakandam.
Yes,
Vedapata
Anapadi
Anapati
Apagata
Apagata
Pakandam.
Yopagatastam asi patravanam praveshya kashya praharanti tatra.
Upagadastam Ashi
Patravanam
Patravanam
Paveshaya
Praveshya
Kashya Praharanti
Kashaya
Tatra
Praharanti Tatra.
Asam itastato dhavamana abhayato dharestalvanasi patres.
Hasam
Asam
itastato davamana
Ubayate
ubhayato
Dare
dharestalavanasi
Asipatre
patres.
Vidyamana sarvango hahato smiti paramaya vedanaya.
Chidyamana
Chidyamana
sarvango
Sarvango
ha hato
Hasmi
smriti
Iti
paramaya
Paramayavadanya
vedanaya.
Murchite pade pade nipatati swadharmaha akhandanugatam phalam bhunte.
Murchita
Murchita
Pade
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 Nipatati
nipatate
Swadharmaha
swadharmaha
Pakhanda Anugatam Phalam
pakhandanugatam phalam
Bhukte.
bhukti.
If a person deviates from the path of the Vedas in the absence of an emergency, the servants of Yamaraj put him in the hell called Asipatravan, where they beat him with whips. When he runs hither and thither, fleeing from the extreme pain, on all sides he runs into palm trees with leaves like sharpened swords. Thus injured all over his body and fainting at every step, he cries out, "Oh, what shall I do now? How shall I be saved?" This is how one suffers who deviates from the accepted religious principles. There is actually only one religious principle, dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The only religious principle is to follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. So religious principle is laid down by God. No man can make any religious principle, and to the Prabhupada is pointing out the only religious principle is to follow instructions of God, orders of God. So Krishna, what does he say in Bhagavad Gita? Anything anyone remembers? Very, very much quoted, very highly quoted.
If one will not follow, then they will be lost.
Yeah, but what does he want
Right.
us to follow? What does he want us to do?
The dharma, the Vedas, like what he's telling, what is written in the Vedas, the Shastra.
Yeah, so he says in 1866 that
Okay. Sarva
that in
dharma
order
parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja.
yes, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasam masucha, says surrender unto me. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me, and I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So surrender to Krishna. This is Krishna's order. In Bhagavad Gita, he is openly telling for everyone to follow. Unfortunately, especially in this age of Kali, everyone is an atheist. People do not even believe in God. What to speak of following his words? The words Nij Vedapat can also mean one's own set of religious principles. Formerly, there was only one Vedapat or set of religious principles. Now there are many. It doesn't matter which set of religious principle one follows. The only injunction is that we must follow them strictly. An atheist or Gnostic is one who does not believe in the Vedas. However, even if one takes up a different system of religion, according to this verse, he must follow the religious principles he has accepted. Whether one is a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian, he should follow his own religious principles. However, if one concocts his own religious path within his mind, or if one follows no religious principles at all, he is punished in the hell known as Asipatravan. In other words, a human being must follow some religious principles. If he does not follow any religious principles, he is no better than an animal. As Kali Yuga advances, people are becoming godless and taking up so-called secularism. They do not know the punishment awaiting them in Asipatravan as described in this verse. So disregarding the authority of the Vedas, then one is sent to this Asipatravan. One may follow any type of religious system. Christian, become a good Christian, follow the principles of Christianity. Hinduism, follow the principles, follow Bhagavad Gita. One is following the Islamic faith, follow the religious principle, whatever it may be, but follow the religious principle. That's what is being said. We cannot make up our own religious principle. Only God can. Bhagavad tu sakshat. Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. So not that we just make up any religious principle. Yasva iha vai raja raja purusho va adandye dandam pranayati.
Ya tu
Yes,
iha
Swaha
viraj raj purusho va
Raja
adandaye
Purusho
dandam
Va
pranayati.
Adandi Dandam Pranayati.
Brahmane va sharira dandam sa papiyan narake mutra.
Brahmane va
Brahmane
sharidandam
Sharidandam
sabha papiya narake
Sapapiya
amutra.
Narakimutra
Su- Sukara mukhe nipatati tatrati bale Vene pishyamana yavo
Amutru
Shukarmukhe
mukhe
Nipatati
nipatati
Tatra
tatra
Bale
ati bale
Vinispishyamana
vishyayamana avayava.
Yathe vehe shukhanda artha swarena swanayan kvachin murchita
यथा एवोः
Thaiva
शिक्षुखण्डो
Kivushanda
आर्तस्वरेणः
Ardhaswarena
स्वनयन्
Swanayan
क्वचित्
Kvachin
मूर्छितः.
Murchita
Ashmalam upagato yathe veha drishta dosha uparuttaha
कश्मलम्
Ashmalam
उपगतो
Upagato
यथा
Yatha
एव
Eva
इह
Drishta Dosha
दृष्टदोषा
Uparuddha.
उपरुद्धाः.
In his next life, a sinful king or governmental representative who punishes an innocent person or who inflicts corporal punishment upon a brahmana is taken by the Yamadutas to the hell named Sukaramukha, where the most powerful assistants of Yamraj crush him, exactly as one crushes sugarcane to squeeze out the juice. The sinful living entity cries very pitiably and faints, just like an innocent man undergoing punishments. This is the result of punishing a faultless person. So it's great responsibility to be in a leadership position. Because if one punishes someone who's innocent, then there is punishment waiting. In this hell, what is the name of the hell?
सुकर्मुखः
Sukaramukha.
सुकर्मुखः.
Yeah, and what is the punishment?
You are like crushed like the
Like a
sugar cane,
cane.
like how you crush and take out the juice, so you are done in the same way. And he faints. The
Yeah,
person screams and faints.
yeah.
So everything is connected here, right? Like how you did with that person in a very painful way, you are being punished in a return, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even science has the law, right? Every action has a
Hmm.
reaction.
Hmm.
So you have to pay for the consequences.
Yeah.
For your
right.
actions, yeah, you pay for your
Actions.
actions. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't realize what we are, how we have to pay for it. You know?
Hmm.
So your Bhagavatam is telling us.
शिल्पा जी, just one question for the 12th one. It was written that जो व्यक्ति को अन्य व्यक्तियों को आघात पहुंचाकर अपने शरीर का पालन करता है. So like, can you give just one example for this? Like how?
What's that? The 12th one you're saying?
Yeah, it's the 12th one.
So the English one is what? That one maintains his life by committing violence to other living entities, or what? What is that?
Yeah, I think that one only, right?
So then could be like a butcher, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And there are a lot of in today's world.
Yeah, slaughterhouses. So world is open with slaughterhouses.
Yeah, I
like
was
that.
just seeing that how, like, if okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Okay. And how about this, the who kills the Brahmin? Like
Mhm.
so like, you know, on like, what is this one? Like, actually the Brahmin who's the Vaishnav, is it that?
Yeah, a Brahman. Brahman doesn't have to be a Vaishnav.
So only Brahmin, any
Yeah.
Brahmin who's
Yeah.
by karma Brahmin, not by birth Brahmin. or not by birth, right?
Not by birth.
Yeah, but by karma if he's Brahmin and if he's killed by somebody, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Brahmana.
Okay.
Because Brahmana is always by qualification, not by birth. Like I can't be a
Yeah.
doctor because I'm
Yeah.
born in family of doctors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also it's mentioned, right, in the Bhagavatam also that Krishna always said, right, like that you should not kill. A Brahmana is given so much importance and
Yeah.
cows, right?
Yeah.
The protection of Brahmana and cow.
That's right. Krishna is the protector of Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, but I'm just
Okay.
trying to understand it in the context of Kali Yuga.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, that's why it's there, right? Canto 1,
yeah.
Parikshit Maharaj, right?
Yeah.
He sees, right? He
The bull
meets
and the cow. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
religious, right, principle. The bull is signifies that, and the cow signifies the earth, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Brahmin. Okay.
Represents actually.
Yastu iha vai bhutanam ishvaropakalpita vrittinam aviviktapara.
Yes, the
Iha vai
Madrup
bhutanam Ishwaropakalpita vrittinam avivikta para.
Vyathanam swayam purusho pakalpita vritir vivikta para vyatho.
Vyatanam swayam purushopakalpita vritti vivikta para vyatho.
Vyatham acharati sapat paratran dhakupe tat abhidrohena nipatati.
Yatham
Vyatham
acharati
acharati
saha paratra
saparatranta
adhupe tat
tat
abhidrohena
abhidrohena
nipatati.
nipattati.
Tatra hasav ter jantubi pashu mrika pakshi sarish per mashaka.
Tatraha
Tatra
asote
hasote
jantu
jantubi
pashu mrig
pashu
मृग
pakshi
पक्षी
sharirape
शरीर
mashaka.
मशक
pashaka.
Yuka matkuna makshika tibihe yeke cha bidru dhaste.
Yukamat
Yuka
punha
matkuna
makshika
मक्षिका
adi
आदि भी
makshikadibi
ye
एके
kecha
yeke
abhidrute
चाभिद्रुतस्ते
sarvataha.
chadrudaste.
Yatham acharati sapatrandhakupe tad abhidrohena nipatati.
Sarvata abhidruhman tasmu vihat nidra
Abhidruhyamanastamasi
nirvati
vihata
aplabdha avasthana.
Vyatham acharati sapatrandhakupe tad abhidrohena. Or we just read that, right? Tatra hasaute jantubi pashu mriga pakshi sarish per mashaka.
Tatra hasote jantubi pashu mirga pakshi sharishve mashaka.
Sharire jiva.
Yuka matkuna makshika tibihir ye kecha bhi druptaste.
Yuka matkuna makshika dibi ye chari
Matkuna makshika adi viye kecha abhidukta.
Sarvato bhidruyamanastamasi vihata nidra nirvrite.
Savarta
Sarvata
abhidrukamana tamasi vihata
Tamasi
nidra
vihate
nirvahati.
nidra nividdhi.
अलब्धावस्थान परिक्रामते यथा कुशरीरे जीवः
Alabdha avasthana
Alabdhavasthana
parikramati
parikramati
yatha
yatha
kusharira
यथा
jivaha.
कुशरीरे
jiva.
जीव
By the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, low-grade living beings like bugs and mosquitoes suck the blood of human beings and other animals. Such insignificant creatures are unaware that their bites are painful to the human being. However, first-class human beings, brahmanas, kshatriyas, and vaishyas, are developed in consciousness, and therefore they know how painful it is to be killed. A human being endowed with knowledge certainly commits sin if he kills or torments insignificant creatures who have no discrimination. The Supreme Lord punishes such a man by putting him into the hell known as Andhakupa, where he is attacked by all the birds and beasts, reptiles, mosquitoes, lice, worms, flies, and any other creatures he tormented during his life. They attack him from all sides, robbing him of the pleasure of sleep. Unable to rest, he constantly wanders about in the darkness, thus in Andhakup. His suffering is just like that of a creature in the lower species. From this very instructive verse, we learn that lower animals created by the laws of nature to disturb the human being are not subjected to punishment. Because a human being has developed consciousness, however, he cannot do anything against the principles of Varnashrama Dharma without being condemned. Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, Chatur Varnyam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. Thus, all men should be divided into four classes: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And they should act according to their ordained regulations. They cannot deviate from their prescribed rules and regulations. One of these states that they should never trouble any animal, even those that disturb human beings. Although a tiger is not sinful, if he attacks another animal and eats its flesh, if a man with developed consciousness does so, he must be punished. In other words, a human being who does not use his developed consciousness, but instead acts like an animal, surely undergoes punishment in many different hells. So, Andhakupa. So, when we are attacking other living beings, then we are sent to this hell called Andhakupa. So the animal or the mosquito or the bugs don't get any karma. The law of karma does not affect to them, but affects to the human being, because we are supposed to have higher consciousness. We are supposed to understand, oh, if I get killed and somebody is going to squash me, I will feel pain. I'll be killed. So we are supposed to act with higher intelligence. And when we are not, then we are being punished. So birds, beasts,
So, like
reptiles,
even killing
mosquitoes,
the
lice, worms, flies, and any other creatures he tormented during his life.
so even insignificant creatures like bugs,
Yeah,
mosquitoes.
yeah,
How
yeah,
suddenly a bug comes, right? Or a mosquito, how we snap our weekly. What we
yeah.
should
So
do, right?
we should try
Uh,
to like catch him and throw him out of the house.
mm,
Put him out of the house, like you can try to catch them, these bugs that come, mosquitoes,
mm.
try to catch them and then let them go out. Yasva iha va asam vibhajya shanati yat kinchano pantam anirmita.
यः तु
यस्य
ईहवा
असंशय
आश्रितः
Shnati
यत्किञ्चनोपनतम्
Yatkinchano
अनिर्मितः
Animita
Panchayagyo vayasa samstutaha sa paratra krimi bhojane.
पञ्चयज्ञवासयस संस्तुतः
Samsutaha
परत्र
Paratra
कृमि
Krimi
भोजने
Bhojane
Narakadame nipatati tatra shata sahasra yojane krimi kunde krimi.
नरके अधामे
Narakade
निप्तति तत्र
Nipatati Tatra
शतसहस्रयोजने
Satasahasrayojane Krimi
कृमिकुण्डे
Kunde
कृमि
Krimi
Bhuta swayam krimibir eva bhakshyamana krimi bhojano yavad.
भूतस्वयं
भूतस्वयं
Swayam
त्रिभिरेव
Eva
भक्ष्यमाणः
Bhakshimana
कृमि भोजन यावत्
कृमिभोजनो यावत्
Bhojanayava
Tat tat aprata prahudato nirvesham atmanam yatayate.
तत्
तत्
Tad
अप्रताद
अप्रताप्तादो
Apratavrata
अनिर्विषयम्
Nirvesham
आत्मानं
Adamanam
यात्यते
Yatayate
Person is considered no better than a crow if after receiving some food he does not divide it among guests, old men and children, simply eats it himself, or if he eats it without performing the 5 kinds of sacrifice. After death, he is put into the most abominable hell known as Krimi Bhojan. In that hell is a lake 100,000 yojanas, 800,000 miles wide, and filled with worms. He becomes a worm in that lake and feeds on the other worms there who also feed on him. Unless he atones for his actions before his death, such a sinful man remains in the hellish lake of Krimi Bhojan for as many years as there are yojanas in the width of the lake. So that means 100,000 yojanas, so means 100,000 years. It's a long time. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.13, Yagya Shishta Ashina Santo Mochyanti Sarvakilpishe Bunchate Tetva Agampapa Ye Pachanti Atma Karana. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is first offered for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. All food is given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Eko Bahuna Yo Vidadhati Kama. The Lord supplies everyone with the necessities of life. Therefore, we should acknowledge His mercy by performing yajna sacrifice. So Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita that first offer the food to Him, and then we accept it as prasad. So then that becomes karma-free food. Prasad is spiritual food. It becomes spiritual. So we should acknowledge His mercy by performing yajna sacrifice. This is the duty of everyone. Indeed, the sole purpose of life is to perform yajna. According to Krishna, Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yagyarthat karmano nyatra loko yam karma bandhana tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work binds one to this material world. Therefore, son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. So we are thinking, well, this life is given to us for us to enjoy our senses the way we want. But actually this body is given to us so that we can engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses. And then that becomes yajna.
It's
Work done as a
mentioned there are
sadhana.
5 sacrifices. I don't know, earlier in the beginning. I was just wondering what it is.
Or if he eats without performing the 5 kinds of sacrifice, I'm not sure what
Sacrifice,
5
right?
sacrifices is. I'm not sure if Prabhupada is mentioning this 5 here.
Mm.
It is
Yes,
mentioned,
you can
Shilpa
say.
ji.
Yeah.
It is not mentioned here, but I think it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, which is
Right?
the 5 sacrifice.
Maybe one is like reciting, and then another one must be like, sacrifice means offering of the food.
The food offering, I remember the food offering.
So I think even the chanting sacrifice, is it? You without chanting, you
Harinam Sankirtan is a
Harinam.
yajna.
Yagya, right?
For the Kali Yuga, right?
Yeah, so that's 2. There's still 3 more. So
But here specifically, I'm not sure what sacrifice is being mentioned here.
Oh,
But
okay.
of course, we are given the yajna for this age is chanting, and we are told to offer food. Yeah. So we are
and
that
distributing, maybe
our
that's also
sacrifice.
you distribute the
Which one?
prasad. So
Distribute prasad. Yes.
maybe that's another yagya.
I think in the Hindi one, it is written that वये वृद्ध पुरुषों तथा बच्चों को न बांटकर स्वयं खा जाता है अथवा बिना पंच यज्ञ किए भोजन ग्रहण करता है. So it is only for the food. This
is only for food.
Yeah, this is something only for the food. Because they are
Okay.
mentioning here, हिंदी में मतलब ऐसा है कि बांटकर स्वयं खा जाता है अथवा बिना पंच यज्ञ किए भोजन ग्रहण करता है. So maybe this is not like break नहीं है, ये
Not what
पंच यज्ञ is
pancha.
maybe, you know, 5
For the
प्रकार के
food.
यज्ञ. और जो
Yeah, so
ट्रांसलेशन है
that's
उसमें
why-
भी लिखा है
Yeah.
5 प्रकार के
That's
यज्ञ
why-
करे बिना
Yeah.
भोजन
Yeah,
खाता
so-
है.
Yeah.
So that's what you are
why-
saying, no? Yeah.
So that's why Prabhupada is saying first offer the food to Krishna. So it becomes spiritual food. And then here Prabhupada is mentioning if we do not perform yajna and distribute prasad to others, our lives are condemned. Only after performing yajna and distributing the prasad to all dependents, children, brahmanas, and old men should one eat. So this is what specifically Prabhupada is saying, that offer first the bhoga to Krishna. So that becomes a sacrifice, and then we accept it.
Shilpa ji, is it also that because because we have read that every even if we are vegetarian, even if we are eating palak, it is jeev, though the conscious is very, very low for that. So it might also include that, right? Because if we offer it to Krishna, then we get relief of everything.
That's right.
क्योंकि उसको तोड़ने में, उसको धोने में कितना जीव का वो हो रहा है, क्षति पहुंच रही है. Though it is vegetarian, still अग्नि जला के हम उसको कुक करते हैं, right?
Yes, it's true.
So if we offer it, then all that sin we don't incur.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, however, one who cooks only for himself or his family is condemned, along with everyone he feeds. After death, he's put into the hell known as Krimi Bhojan, because actually, according to the Grahastha ashram, one is supposed to cook food, offer to the Lord, and then distribute it to everyone else also. Distribute the prasad.
Okay, distribute also.
The Grihast is like that give food to others also. So, but at least what the point, at least offer to Krishna. Offer the food to Krishna and then accept. And
is
as
it
much as possible, distribute the prasad. Huh?
And also the first line, that if you get the food and you don't share it,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
distributing prasad is when we go and okay, we distribute prasad, but that is if we don't even share the very first line in the translation.
yeah. So distribute prasad doesn't mean that you just go out on the streets to distribute prasad.
No. Distribute prasadam, I mean that sometimes when we cook, तो हम उसको रख लेते हैं अपने लिए.
Yeah,
So rather
yeah,
than doing for that, we should give it to everybody,
yeah,
right? We should
yeah,
not be greedy at that time कि नहीं मैं अपने लिए रख लूं. Rather we should try कि जितने ज्यादा को आप दे सको सबको खाने के लिए, right?
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
Because वो खुद खा जाता है, right? कि अरे बहुत अच्छी है ये, मैं मेरे लिए रख लेता हूँ. So that is also
Yeah,
sin, right? That is also we'll bear it.
yeah. Well, but you can give it to others and also keep for yourself. Then it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Because
give it to.
it's
नहीं मतलब we
okay.
can't be greedy. I'm just trying to understand it.
Ah,
कि कभी
yes,
कभी हम, yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
बोलते हैं ना, caring is sharing. So
Yes.
there, this is where it comes.
Sharing is caring. Yeah.
Actually सब आता है लेकिन पता ही नहीं है ना
ओए,
कि कहाँ
Sharing is
कहाँ अप्लाई
caring.
होता है. Where all things apply so deeply. वही तो नहीं पता.
Hare Krishna.
So true. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, actually, I want to share one thing. Like Prabhupada has like he based for ISKCON in 65, right? But I heard from my mom, like whenever he like in our house usually there was cook. So whenever he cook some food, first he offer to Agni Dev, like he put some grains to Agni, and then like I don't remember, but actually that time I was not there, but I heard. And second one is for cow, like whenever the food is cooked, they removes first for the cow, and and finally when everyone get the food, the last one for dog.
Yeah, dog.
So still this tradition is followed by some people, like, but not all. So I think this is our tradition to give like distribute food to all. Like cow, when you are offering cow, it means you are offering the holy animal. And as I heard, like all gods have uh, like like गाय के अंदर सब भगवान है, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, कि each part of cow's body there is one. Actually maybe I can share this, कि आंख में कौन से भगवान हैं, मस्तिष्क में कौन से हैं, स्टोमक में कौन से हैं, लेग में कौन से हैं, ऐसे करके पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया हुआ है कि गाय में हमारे जो डेमी गॉड्स हैं ना, जितने भी. So this is one of the reason, that's why Krishna love cows so much. So
okay.
yeah,
So even the
as I
animals also come in this, right? The cow.
yes, so
Yeah.
there is some relation between the offering, food offering.
Right.
या
बिकॉज
पहला
अभी
इसको
भी जैसे आई रिमेम्बर हमारे घरों में जो पहली रोटी बनती है, इवन इन माय मॉम्स हाउस एंड माय ससुराल आल्सो टिल टुडे, वो गाय को दी जाती है. मतलब वो अलग रखी
हाँ,
जाती है कि
पहला
वो गाय
रोटी,
के लिए
हाँ
बनी है.
हाँ
मतलब दे कीप इट फॉर द काउ, और फिर वहां तो
cow,
काउ आती ही रहती है ना इंडिया में, तो रोड
हाँ
पर
हाँ
तो वो जाके दे
हाँ,
देते हैं
दे
सुबह
देते
या
हैं.
दिन में. तो मतलब पहली रोटी डॉग के लिए डेफिनेटली नहीं बनती, बट काउ के
नहीं
लिए
नहीं,
बनती है
पहली
अभी
Cow
रोटी
भी.
के
गाय
लिए.
के लिए, पहली रोटी
गाय
हाँ
के
गाय
लिए
के लिए,
बोली ना.
लास्ट वाला
हाँ
डॉग के लिए,
हाँ, मतलब
लास्ट वन.
लेकिन अभी तो लास्ट डॉग का तो नहीं सोचते, लेकिन काउ का तो सुना है
हाँ
कि मतलब
नहीं,
पहली
हमारे
रोटी.
मतलब हमारे यहाँ ऐसा
ओके
होता था.
ओके ओके,
एंड
राइट, गुड.
नॉट नाउ,
हम्म.
बट गाय के लिए अभी भी निकालते हैं, बट
हाँ,
अब
गाय
काऊ
की
के
ही
लिए
निकलती है, हमारे भी गाय
हाँ
की ही निकलती है.
अब
राइट. और
निकलती है.
सुबह उठ के
और
बस जैसे आप बोल रहे हो ना अन्य का, तो वो रात
हाँ
को जो गैस होता है वो प्रॉपरली क्लीन करके सोते हैं ढक के
हाँ,
कपड़े से.
पूरा
और
किचन,
फिर
हाँ
हाँ, ढक कपड़े से मम्मी ढकती थी, और फिर मॉर्निंग में उठकर सबसे पहले वहां पर जैसे हाथ जोड़ कर ना, नहा धोकर और वो अग्नि को जला के उनको हाथ जोड़ के कि आई एम यूजिंग
प्रणाम
यू,
करके, हाँ
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 कि आई एम यूजिंग यू फॉर टुडे। तो एकदम ऐसे एक छोटी सी ना वो
हाँ, तो वही छोटा छोटा चीज को
कुशाग्रास,
मतलब, हाँ
कुशाग्रास या कुछ रखते थे और उससे ऐसे ऐसे सुबह ना कि कोई जीव ना हो गया हो वहां पे। और वो इसलिए करती थी, मम्मी बताती थी कि क्या होता है रात को अगर मैं गैस को ऐसे खुली छोड़ूंगी ना तो बहुत सारे जीव गिर जाएंगे या कुछ हो जाएगा,
हाँ,
और मैं जैसे ही गैस जलाऊंगी तो कोई जीव ना मर जाए
मर
आसपास।
जाए, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
हाँ
तो वही मैं
कि
बोल
भाई
रही हूँ
वो
कि
आपको
ये
कर्म
चीजें,
लगेगा, इसलिए मतलब
हाँ
दिस इज व्हाट,
हाँ,
मतलब मुझे तो बस यही बताया है, लेकिन अन्न का नहीं पता मेरे को कि वो अन्न ऑफर का भी सिग्निफिकेंस
नहीं
मतलब
यहाँ
उसमें।
भी जैसे हमारे यहाँ माँ बताती है कि अग्नि को पहले अर्पण करते हैं, ताकि अग्नि दे वो सब, क्योंकि उनको यूज कर रहे हैं ना फॉर कुकिंग।
या
तो
मेक
कुछ होगा
सेंस।
ट्रेडिशन, आई डोंट हैव मच आइडिया, एंड
नहीं नहीं बट
लेटर
गुड
ऑन
गुड।
लाइक कुछ होगा, मुझे पूरा पता नहीं है, क्योंकि उतना डिटेल मैंने कभी जानने का कोशिश नहीं किया। बट अब मैं पढ़ती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि ये सब चीजें
कनेक्टेड।
शुरू से ही, और ब्राह्मण जरूर होते थे घर में,
हम्म।
तो ब्राह्मण को भी दिया जाता था। यूजुअली
राइट।
पहले होता था ना कि घर में पूजा वगैरह
हाँ
ब्राह्मण
ब्राह्मण
ही
आके
करते।
करवाते थे, यस यस यस।
हाँ, तो ये सब ट्रेडिशन मुझे जहाँ तक याद है कि ये सब पहले होता था एंशियंट
हम्म।
इसमें। बहुत मुझे याद नहीं है बहुत, लेकिन मैं सुनी हूँ कि हाँ वो पंडित जी आए तो पंडित जी को पहले ऐसे सीधा, हम लोग सीधा बोलते हैं उसको, तो
हाँ
उसमें
सीधा राइट।
हाँ तो सारा चीज
सूखा
होता था,
खाना,
चावल
सीधा ही
सीधा,
सूखा खाना।
सूखा खाना, हाँ
हाँ
तो वो
सूखा
दिया
अन्न
जाता,
आप जो देते हो दैट इज कॉल्ड सीधा, यस
सीधा, हाँ तो वो पूरा
एब्सोल्युटली।
दिया जाता था कि ताकि
हाँ
एटलीस्ट वो जब तक नेक्स्ट फिर कुछ नहीं आता है
हाँ
फेस्टिवल, तब तक के लिए उनको वो दिया जाता था कि आपके
हाँ।
लिए ये सब
हम्म।
ये करें। तो ये सब ट्रेडिशन था कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके ही खाना है।
हम्म।
अभी प्रभुपाद जी ने इसको थोड़ा सा और अच्छा कर दिया कि नहीं, अगर आप बना रहे हो, जैसे हम वेस्ट भी करते हैं ना, तो प्रसाद
हम्म,
रहेगा तो हम वेस्ट नहीं करेंगे।
नहीं करेंगे, राइट।
हाँ,
सो
कि
ब्यूटीफुल।
नीचे नीचे गिर भी जाता है तो हम उठा के खा लेते हैं कि नहीं
हाँ उठा
प्रसाद
के
है,
खा जाते हैं, यस यस
खा
यस।
जाए। तो
उठा
ये
के खा।
सब लॉजिकल ये है मुझे, ये सब चीज वो काफी अच्छी है, अच्छी चीजें प्रभुपाद जी ने बताई इन लोगों को, तो हमको
हम्म।
फॉलो तो करना चाहिए। ये कितना कर पाते हैं ये तो डिपेंड करता है। तो मेरे घर में तो मुस्लिम्स वगैरह भी आते हैं तो मैं प्रसाद उनको खिला देती हूँ, इवन दे ईट लाइक बीफ खाते ही हैं, हरे कृष्णा, बट मैं खिला देती हूँ कि लोग शायद तुम्हारा बुद्धि कुछ ठीक हो जाए, खा लो
Oh,
ऐसे
nice.
करके तो ऐसे चलता है। ये अच्छा लगता है, ये सब पढ़ करके लगता है कि these all are practical and we must have to follow. There is some relation with the purification or our next life or something like hell and heaven. कुछ मतलब है ऐसा।
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all so much for giving this knowledge. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada
Hare
ki
Krishna.
jai.
जय।
Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.